So there are daily different viruses, trojans, malwares going ahead and getting updated. Previously it only ran on computers. Nowadays it even works on Android or your iPhone, even the Windows platform. So you need to know each and everything, and when you are going ahead and gathering information, let's say you are a penetration tester and an organization has hired you, so you need to make sure that you use each and everything up to that you have under your pocket, inside your pocket, to go ahead and try to penetrate this organization, because that is your aim. You need to know, you need to think from a malicious hacker's point of view as to how would they try to gain access. And it's not just by typing codes or going ahead and, let's say, writing trojans or backdoors or trying to penetrate the firewall, because which would be quite hard if you ask me, because just go you cannot we are not Bill Gates or, let's say, Steve Jobs to go, or even Aiden PS or something like that, to go ahead and write some extreme codes that could go ahead and penetrate the Cisco firewalls or something. So that does not happen in our day-to-day life as you see in the movies. To go for, if we need to go ahead and penetrate an organization, Kali Linux is the best for operating system that I have ever come through to go ahead and gather in my whole life. So you can go ahead and even write your own, let's say, programs, be it in C or Python or whatever, whichever language you want, and you can just go ahead and target it to a specific person or an organization. So yes, that's how it is. So to start with, I would like to tell you that if some person has hired you for going ahead and, let's say, you might be thinking that how will I go ahead and penetrate someone's organization if I write some Trojan, but that is I'm not able to penetrate through the firewall, or I'm not able to get the specific IP address. Then how do I go ahead and how can someone, a malicious hacker, can go ahead and get into an organization's system? Then at that point of time there comes something which is called as social engineering. Social engineering is a type of con that you go ahead and con into someone to gain information, and any kind of information. It does not require what information is that. So in this tutorials that I would be teaching, I will be telling you some case studies in between as to how there were some penetration testers who went ahead and gathered some information through the clients itself, and they didn't even knew that they were giving out some important information, and then they went ahead and hacked into their personal systems and told them that these are the ways that any kind of hacker go ahead and get your access into your organization. So that is what ethical hacking is. And after that, there are footprinting and reconnaissance, that you need to go ahead and gather information, which operating system the people are using, let's say what they are working on exactly, what kind of firewall they are, which antivirus they are using, and loads of stuff. After that, we need to scan networks as to which IP address they are, again, which IP address they have, what are, let's say, what are the sources of IP address, between which range are they exactly, things like that. After that, we need to go into system hacking, trojans, backdoors. We need to know what viruses and worms can do. And when we talk about viruses, virus, worms, trojans, backdoors, malwares, these are all different things. There are multiple types of viruses, like polymorphic virus, or you can go ahead and take something like, let's say, the Trojan, which is the most famous and the dangerous one, because you don't actually know what it is doing in the background and what information it has already given out. That's the reason. And viruses and worms normally go ahead and destroy your computer, whereas trojans and backdoors give out your information from your computer to someone else. So at some point of time, virus and worms, I am not saying that they are good enough, but they are not the worst part, because okay, fine, my system is damaged and they have corrupted all these firewall or something, so you know what is happening. But in case of trojans, you don't actually know. So in this tutorial, in these tutorials that I would be teaching, I will also teach you something about forensics that would help you gather much information about how it works actually, and how you can go ahead and check if someone has used a Trojan to go ahead and get access to your computer, to view event logs, to view which all permissions were given out by your system, not only on your computers or your laptops, but also with your PDAs, your tablets, or with your cell phones, especially Android, because Android runs Linux, and it is one of the most you can say as vulnerable out there, until unless you know what you're doing with Linux. You can also secure that, but finally it comes to social engineering. If someone tries to con you and insert some kind of malicious program in your cell phone, then no one can help you out. And there's a famous saying that instead of me telling you, I'll just go ahead and show it out to you on Google. I'll just go and type social engineering, and why social engineering is much more important in ethical hacking. I'll let you know, because let's say you can go ahead and patch a software, or you can go ahead and create a software, or even sometimes impenetrable software. But let's say thousands and or you can say lakhs of people are working on some kind of let's say a software. You can understand that one single person cannot go ahead and penetrate or try to find a specific vulnerability where 1,000 people have helped to create a specific software or any antivirus. So but there is one thing which is vulnerable to everything, that is human nature, and at that point of time social engineering comes in between. I'll show you a famous quote as to what social engineering is. Let me just go ahead and open this out. Okay, as you can see over here that social engineering is the clever manipulation of natural human tendency to trust. So, and this is my favorite part over here. You can see social engineering is the best because there's no patch for human stupidity, and that is true. If you're thinking about softwares, you can patch them, you can give out or shell out security patches to them, or you can go ahead and secure them at one point of time. But as of humans, you cannot. There are different types of ways in which you can go ahead and gather information, and the person who is standing in front of you, who is giving you out the information, won't even know that he is giving out information. So there are several ways. I'll let you know each one by one everything in these tutorials, starting with everything. So the first topic that we will be getting into would be the introduction to ethical hacking, how it works and how it is different from movies, and what important things are that you need to consider when you are trying to gain information. And you need to set up your own lab before you go ahead and try to gain access to anything. And yes, after that there comes enumeration, sniffing, denial of service attacks, session hijacking, hacking web servers, web cameras, web applications, SQL injections, and even you can also go ahead and penetrate into, let's say, wireless applications such as WEP or WPA, WPA2 Wi-Fi modules, then hacking mobile platforms, evading honeypots, firewalls, buffer overflows, then going ahead and finally into cryptography and forensics as to how we can go ahead and gather them. So there are specific, let's say, courses out there on ethical hacking as well. But if you need to keep yourself updated, then you don't only need to go ahead and gather information by looking on the web. You need to go ahead and try it out on your own computers before you can go down and try out on someone else's. So these are things that are important, and in the next tutorial I'll be starting with the main, that is what is ethical hacking and stuff. So that is it for this tutorial. Have a nice day ahead.